All right, let's open this one like a careful lawyer taking the first step into a courtroom where the case is as old as humanity and still unresolved. The headline reads, Bench Warrant, and the body reads, More than one has issued many a bench warrant, out for God for F.T.A., and the reverse, 1. The scene and the language first, the language itself. Bench warrant is legal, it's procedural. It's not about whether you did wrong, it's about whether you even showed up to answer the charge. It comes from the judge's bench, not the jury box. F.T.A., failure to appear, is the kind of shorthand you see in case notes, police blotters, docket sheets. It's clipped, efficient, no sympathy in it. It doesn't care about the reason. It simply states, you were told to be here, and you weren't here. The fragment gives us the whole package, the authority bench, the command appear, the breach F.T.A., and the double edge, and the reverse. 2. The first direction, humanity summons God. The first half is the more audacious. Humans, more than one of them, meaning not just a lone mad prophet but many, have issued warrants for God. This is already a reversal of the usual order. It presumes jurisdiction. It says you, God, were summoned. You had a date and a time. You failed to show. In legal terms, it is absurd. God, if God, is outside the reach of any court. But in human terms, it makes emotional sense. We have an instinct toward complaint when pain comes and help does not. From Job in the dust to Elie Wiesel in a concentration camp mock trial of the Almighty, to the quiet, unspoken curses whispered at a hospital bedside, there is a long tradition of people putting God in the dock. 3. The specific charge, F.T.A., a failure to appear, is different from committing the original crime. It's not about the disaster itself, or the injustice, or the tragedy. It's about the absence afterward. It's the accusation that the one who should have been present simply wasn't. God's supposed F.T.A. might be the unanswered prayer, the disaster met with silence, the cruelty left unchecked. It's not the philosophical problem of evil. It's the practical problem of absence. 4. The reverse warrant, then comes the turn, and the reverse. Because if humans can imagine issuing a bench warrant for God, the fragment suggests God could just as well issue one for us. This would be God's record of our failures to appear, moments when compassion was summoned and we didn't show, times when truth was called for and we stayed quiet, seasons of life when our presence was needed, not just physically, but morally, spiritually, and we were somewhere else, anywhere else. And the sting is this: while we argue about his absence, he might be filing the same paperwork on us. 5. The mutual courtroom. The fragment, taken in full, imagines a courtroom not of marble and robes but of mutual accusation. On one bench, a human judge issues a warrant for God. On another, a divine judge issues a warrant for humanity. It's an endless loop. Each side claims the other has failed to appear. Each insists the other owes them an explanation. This is not a courtroom that delivers verdicts. It's a courtroom that preserves the tension of grievance. 6. The power of more than one. The phrase more than one has issued shifts the tone from isolated outrage to collective ritual. It's not the eccentric action of a single rebel, it's a recurring feature of the human story. People in every generation, every culture, every crisis have felt justified in filing this cosmic paperwork. And perhaps, if the reverse is true, so has God. 7. What a bench warrant means in practice in earthly courts. A bench warrant is not symbolic, it's actionable. It means someone is coming for you. It means the state has decided your absence will not stand. Translate that into the fragment's frame, and you get strange, vivid possibilities, humanity sending out metaphysical marshals to bring God in, God dispatching angels or circumstances to bring us in. Sometimes in life, that's exactly how it feels. That trouble, tragedy, or some startling event is not random, but a summons you've been avoiding finally catching up to you. 8. F.T.A. as a spiritual condition. Failure to appear is not just a legal breach, it's a moral and existential one. You can F.T.A. without leaving your house. You can F.T.A. sitting at a dinner table if your mind and heart are absent. You can F.T.A. in your own life by refusing to answer its real summons. Seen that way, the fragment is less about God or humanity in the abstract, and more about the condition of absence itself, our chronic habit of not showing up when it matters. 9. The humor and the severity. There's a sly humor here, too. The idea of humans writing up a bench warrant for God is, on its face, absurd. So is the idea of God filing the reverse in a human court. That absurdity is the hook. It disarms you, lets you laugh a little, before you realize the charge in both directions is deadly serious. 10. As a product of the Zero Friction Machine Company, if we set this fragment inside the Zero Friction Machine Company's catalog, it would be classified under bilateral accountability triggers. These are linguistic devices that short-circuit one-way blame narratives by introducing a mirrored accusation. Purpose: to dislodge the operator from entrenched grievance, to force awareness of reciprocal absence, to create a jolt of recognition. If I can accuse you of F.T.A., perhaps you can accuse me of the same. Operators would deploy it in scenarios where a person or group has become fixated on the other's absence, blind to their own. It works because the reversal is contained in the fragment itself. You can't unsee it once read. 11. The unresolvable case in most legal situations, the goal is resolution. The warrant is served, the person is brought in, the case proceeds. But the fragment hints that in this cosmic court, the warrants are never served. God cannot be compelled by human authority. Humans cannot evade divine reach. Yet the meeting never seems to happen on terms acceptable to both sides. So the warrants remain on the books, year after year. This is perhaps why the fragment feels so true. Because in life, the big absences, whether of God, of people we love, or of ourselves, often remain unresolved. 12. The closing reflection at its core, the fragment is not about theology or law. It's about the ache of unshown up for moments. It names the bitterness of expecting presence and getting absence. It admits that bitterness flows both ways. It leaves us in the unresolved space where both summonses still stand. And maybe that's its final wisdom. If you can see that both warrants are active, maybe you'll decide to appear first,